Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Health Talk with Ernestine. My name is Ernestine Hopkins of Ernestine Hopkins Consulting. For those of you who've never heard of me, I'm a certified women's empowerment coach. And what that means is I help women to uncover the blocks that have stopped them from becoming successful, and then I empower them to achieve success. And for those women who find that trauma is a block for them, I am a certified trauma debriefing specialist. And with that, I'm a certified member of the International Association of Therapists. So trauma debriefing is all about building resilience in the face of trauma so that if you are triggered by something, you are able to stay in the driver's seat of the car as opposed to the trauma jumping into the driver's seat and controlling your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So trauma debriefing teaches you how to self-regulate. So I am also the proud author of a book that I released back in 2014 called Saving Myself from Me. And I recently made a big announcement that Saving Myself from Me has been re-released. So if you have not had the opportunity to purchase your copy of the re-release Saving Myself from Me, the link for that is in the chat. It's also in the description. So one Amazon reviewer said, as a person that doesn't read a lot, I was totally caught up in the story and I couldn't stop reading until the end. I recommend this to anyone struggling with depression or anyone who's in an abusive situation, as well as those who are not. So I'm in the process of turning that book into a film. It's a series that will be appearing on YouTube, and it is called Redemption Train. So I want to show you real quick. So this was the original book that I released back in 2014. So this is actually the updated, re-released cover for Saving Myself from Me. Super excited about that. It looks so good. And so, like I said, if you haven't had a chance to order that yet, the link is in the chat for that. And like I said, we're turning it into a film, and it's based on Saving Myself from Me, but with a twist. Redemption Train is not exactly like Saving Myself from Me, because this story is all about the character you see on the book there, which is Ashley, and another character from her school, a girl named Samantha, and how they navigate their life experiences and their adversities. I don't want to tell you too much. I don't want to give it away, but basically how they navigate through their life, right? But Redemption Train is not only about them, it is also about them and their mothers. Because one thing that I've learned in my personal life and with the women that I've worked with is that girls who haven't healed become women who haven't healed. And then also the same goes for men. Boys who haven't healed become men who haven't healed, okay? So we filmed the teaser for this and we released it back in January. So if you haven't seen the teaser yet, you should check that out today. The link for that is in the chat and in the description, so you can check that out. And we're actually in the fundraising stages of this project right now. So if you want to contribute towards the filming of Redemption Train, the links for that are in the chat as well. Or if you know any organizations or any groups that have any interest in the subject matter of Redemption Train, please send their information to me or pass my information along to them. The subject matter is low self-esteem, depression, suicide, abuse, mental health, overcoming, healing, growth, things that our society really needs. So like I said, connect us, right? So my email address is ernestinehopkins@gmail.com. My website is ernestinehopkins.com, and all that is in the chat, so you can pass it along, okay? And so as usual, I'm doing a giveaway today. It's going to be for an autographed copy of the re-release Saving Myself from Me that's still on the screen. And then also the other option for the giveaway is one of my Girls Who Conquer shirts. So if you want to be put into the drawing, you have to email me though. You have to tell me, hey, I want to be in the drawing. And I was actually watching right now. So with that being said, you have to send me that email today by 7:30 p.m. in order to be eligible to be put into that drawing. So today's November 26th. By 7:30 p.m., send me your name, your mailing address, and what prize you would like. That book or the shirt. The available sizes are small, medium, and large. And 2 people will be randomly selected from the emails that I do receive, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, the teaser for Redemption Train was released back in January. And my special guest today is actually the lead actress, one of the lead actresses of the Redemption Train teaser. So before I introduce her to you, I want to share a clip from Redemption Train with you because I want you to see just how amazing she is before we bring her on. That way you get the full scope of who it is that you are about to be introduced to, okay? Before I show you this clip, let me give you a quick trigger warning. If you are triggered by anything that we talk about today or by the clip that we watched today, I highly encourage you to connect with a licensed professional counselor. This is very, very important. So whenever you're triggered by something, you're able to process the event that caused you trauma, reflect on its impact, and then also that way you can learn how to self-regulate so you can become the best version of yourself. All right? Check this clip out.
That to me. She's spoiled and she needs to be corrected and she needs to be punished. That's her problem. No, her problem is she needs to be disciplined. That's her problem and that's your problem. You need to be disciplined. Like mother, like daughter. That's the problem. And I'm sick of having to say it. I'm gonna have to do something that you want. So I'm gonna do something about it. Yes, I'm gonna have somebody. No, I don't give a goddamn. You can't take you nowhere. No, you're gonna learn how to obey.
You're hideous! You're alone, and you always will be. No one wants you, no one cares.
That was absolutely amazing. The actors that you saw in those scenes did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. So, without any further ado, I want to introduce my special guest to you all today. Her name is Aléshah Brown. Let me bring her on. She is a filmmaker, an actress, and one of the lead actresses of Redemption Train. Welcome, Aléshah. How are you doing?
Doing good, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so incredibly excited to have you here with me today, man. Like we all just saw in that clip, you did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
So for those that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, so my name is Aléshah. I'm a professional actress. I'm 18 years old. Fun fact that I don't really tell people, I'm a junior in college. I have 6 siblings. I just had 2 twins come in yesterday, just born yesterday. So I have to like re-add up everything. But yeah, I've been acting for about 5 years and here we are.
The way you act, you would think you came out the womb acting. You
I really did. I would pretend to not be sick in elementary school and I'd have like fevers of 105 and I just like try to go to school and like, yeah.
So you love school.
I do.
So whenever I was younger, I always wanted to be a teacher. So I used to line up all my teddy bears and I was always like teaching and telling them what to do, giving them assignments. I was that kid. So yeah.
That's so cute.
Yes. So the topic today is, believing in yourself and pursuing your dreams. And I felt like you were the perfect person to talk to today about that for obvious reasons. Y'all just heard her. She said you're a junior in college. I mean, let me just take a moment and just like take that in, what she just said. That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me, Aléshah, have you always believed in yourself?
I feel like believing in yourself is such a layered thing, but for the most part, yes. For the most part, I pretty much have. When I was little, it was just my parents would have us like success talks and we'd wake up before school and they'd just like teach us success principles. And I was like 8 at the time. So I've just always kind of tried to adopt that mindset.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would say for me, I always believed in myself too. Like school came easy to me, right? Like I always excelled academically. And then my senior year in high school, I started working at a bank and I started moving up from there. So I always had this confidence about me when it came to that kind of stuff. It was just like the other side of it, the low self-esteem when it came to my physical appearance because of what people said about me, right?
Right. Same. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. But academically, I was good. I was like, yeah, I got it. As a matter of fact, I didn't give myself this name. Let me just say that first. But my nickname used to be Flash when I worked at the bank. because I was just so confident. So I started calling myself that and all that. It wasn't until I stepped outside of my comfort zone. It wasn't until I stepped outside of my area of expertise that I started to question myself, specifically like with saving myself from me and redemption train. Those aren't my areas, you know.
Mhm.
That wasn't my idea. That was a God idea, right? So that's whenever I was like, man, can I do this? Oh no, I've never done this. But you know, outside of that, I've always been pretty good about it, you know.
Yeah, that's really great. And it's funny you say like people's words are so powerful because for me, like I believed in myself as far as like school went and doing things, but I really wasn't comfortable with who I was as a person, which is why I said believing yourself is such a like layered thing. And it was because of something that someone told me when I was like 8. Like they told me basically they were comparing me to someone else and I didn't understand exactly what they were saying. I didn't get their verbiage, so I took that as they were calling me fat and this other girl skinny. And it just kind of like that's something that stuck with me till I was like 11, and I would struggle with like starving myself and things like that when I was like in middle school. And like now I'm past that and I've like grown. I'm very confident in myself, but it's just like crazy how people's words can have such a massive effect on you.
Right, it is. I mean, that's why I always tell people, like, you know, be kind. It's just so disheartening, especially on social media, just seeing the things that people say to people, whether they know them or not. It's just like, why would you say that to somebody? Like, what in the world? Like, it just blows my mind. But, you know, that's why we need people like us in the world to remind people of the importance of what they say. You know, it matters. What you say matters, you know. It's not just something you're saying to somebody real quick that actually lasts with them. And some
Right.
people say, well, that's not my problem that they chose not to let that go.
It's like,
Just,
right.
just stop. But yeah, with saving myself from me, I almost didn't write that book. Like I almost didn't. I was teaching in 2014. No, actually, it's 2013. I was wanting to become a math teacher because I was told at the time that math teachers got paid more money. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going for math. But when I was a little girl, a pastor had told me, he had called me down to the front. He was like, you're going to be an English teacher. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm a little kid. I was about 10. I was like, okay, you know. But then, like I said, I grew up and I was like, yeah, I'm going for math because somebody told me it's more money. And then 2 weeks before school started, the principal called me and said, hello, Miss Hopkins. Did anyone tell you about the change? And I was like, what change? And she said, we're switching you from math to English. And I was like, oh.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, okay. But I had spent all summer preparing for math and I was thrown into it. So I didn't feel ready. So from that moment forward, I was like, okay, I don't know about this, you know. I'm the kind of person where, because I got a generalist certification, which means you can teach any subject. So I'm the kind of person where as long as I study it, I got it. But it was just being thrown into it. It was like, you know. But then they sent me to a conference in New Orleans, a teachers conference for English teachers. And I was there and there was a person speaking about a book that they wrote. And they were like, yeah, this book is loosely based on my life. It's a fiction book. And I was like, huh. I want to do that. But then I talked myself out of it because it was outside of my area, you know, and I was like, no. And then one day I told my husband, I said, you know what, I'm going to write it. So I got in the car on our drive. We're going out of town and I wrote it in 1 week.
Wow.
So it all, like, once I started believing I can do this, it was nothing.
It just came out. Yeah.
It just came out like the words just flowed. It wasn't, I didn't have this whole brainstorming activity before. I just did it, you know. But believing in myself had everything to do with that, right? So what helps you believe in yourself? I know you said your parents worked with you whenever you were younger and that really taught you how to believe in yourself. What helps you believe in yourself now? How do you sustain that?
That's a really good question, sustaining it, because
Yeah.
so when I first chose to start acting, I like made the decision that I was gonna be an actor when I was 9. Like it was so like clear, it was clear as day to me that I was gonna do this. But then now, you know, that I'm in it, there is a massive amount of just rejection. And sometimes you can't even say it's rejection because you just don't ever hear anything back. And that can be extremely disheartening. I was actually thinking about that today, which is funny. So one thing I do to sustain myself is having mentors is so important.
Yeah.
Like people that you can call and just be like, this is what I'm going through right now, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation, and just being like, what do I do? And then having people who will be honest with you, but also encourage you and lift you up. And then just not comparing yourself, like choose, which is like the hardest and probably the most overused phrase ever. But like really, you can't, if I compared my like path in my life with my career and outside of my career, I would be so like depressed right now because like I've done really great things, but there's bigger places that I want to go, and some people are there. But a phrase I kind of coined was that like when you envy someone's successes, you also envy their failures. You also envy their struggles. So that's something that that's something that helps me like keep the blinders on, and you just have to stay focused on your destination. So it's a mix of a lot of different things, but it's all of that, and also just like reminding yourself of why you even started in the first place.
Okay.
Would I remember when all I ever wanted was an audition. Like I just wanted to go on auditions so bad. And now I do auditions all the time and I book jobs often. So it's like the gratitude helps. I can't like pinpoint what I just said, but all of that. A mix of all of that.
So can you say that phrase again for the people in the back, the phrase that you came up with, please?
When you envy someone's successes, you also envy their failures and struggles. So it's a reminder to keep yourself, have your blinders on and stay focused.
Girl, that's a whole word. I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. It's amazing. What helps me believe in myself? One of the things you said, mentors, connecting with people that are where I want to be. Because let me tell you something. Like I said, I didn't go to film school or anything like that. You know, redemption train was never something I always dreamt of. You know, that that just is not the case for me. After I wrote the book, I would read my book with my students every school year. As the new students came in, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna read this book, and your life's about to be changed." You know, so we would read the book together. And at the end, they would always say, "This should be a film. This should be a film." And I was like, because that sounded ludicrous to me. A film, like what? And so when I finally decided to do it, like I was like, "What am I doing?" You know. So connecting with people that are where you want to be is so imperative. So I have a film mentor now. She mentored me through the whole teaser. And so that really, really, really helped. And then also doing research and studying, because sometimes we feel insecure about certain things because we don't have the knowledge that we need to have. So it's important to research and study it and learn as much as you can. And then also those positive affirmations, like whenever I'm having those thoughts of, you know, you can't do this. This is too big for you. You're never gonna be able to do it. You know, redemption train is a pretty pricey project, right? And so that can be discouraging too, right? But just, you know, taking those thoughts captive, talking back to those thoughts, speaking life to those thoughts, consistently doing that really, really helps me to continue to believe in myself. And then having a circle of people that I can turn to and be like, hey man, I've been feeling kind of discouraged about this thing, and you know, just talking to other people, you know, that really, really helps me. Let me see what else I wanted to ask you. Oh yes, I know. So how has God influenced how you view yourself?
So glad you asked. So going back to just the poor self-esteem, like God was like was the thing that helped me, you know, get out of that. My mom would always share with me like, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, because I didn't know how to deal with these feelings on my own, but I also was such a bottler when I was little, and I was always trying to like be the happy, perfect one for everybody else. So I would like write these letters to her, and she would respond, and she would say, "You're fearfully and wonderfully made," and she would tell me to like take scriptures and put them on my wall and read them every day until I understood them. And for years, like I would do that, and I just wouldn't feel any different. But then one day, I think I was 12 or something. I ended up getting prayer for that. I was like, I don't, you know, in church, like some churches will be like, if you need prayer, like come up and get prayer. I was always like, I don't want to do that. This is so weird. But this one day, I was just like, okay, I can't do this on my own anymore. So I did it. very hesitantly, and then I don't even remember what the person said. I don't even think I told them the full truth of what I needed help with. But I remember going home and feeling like I actually have a choice here. Like I could choose to either keep going down a really negative, destructive path, or I could try to like get better. And so I did, and I feel like God's just been holding my hand even when I didn't know it or understand it. And so like I said, now like I don't even think twice about, like, I used to have such anxiety about food and all that stuff. I don't have that anymore, and it's been a long time coming. But the low self-esteem and just like believing in myself, that's all been just me learning to trust in God and have faith, and that is like another really hard thing to do. But that's the one of the biggest ways. And as I'm getting older and going through different things and different transitions and phases, I constantly feel like I'm rediscovering myself or reinventing myself, and just like having God with me through all the ups and downs is just the biggest, best thing that I could ever have. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Without God, I'm a mess. It's just,
Aren't we all?
there's no better way to say that. But like with God, like you said, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We're made in His image. So I'm like, wait, if I'm made in His image, I must be all right then, and just really receiving His love and peace. And I was the same way for years. Like I didn't feel any different. Like I had self-esteem for years, all the low self-esteem for years, all the way into my adulthood. I was in my maybe like early 30s before I finally had some self-esteem about myself, about my appearance.
Mm.
And it wasn't until I really truly embraced what God says about us, and chose to walk that out and walk with Him hand in hand, and reminding myself that I'm never alone, because people feel alone all the time. But just knowing we're not alone, God is with us, and being thankful for that, and pushing forward in that. And I just want to, before I forget, I want to thank you for sharing what you did share.
Oh yeah.
About, you said you had anxiety with eating and stuff like that. I feel like somebody needed to hear that,
Yeah.
and just to provide hope to them that it's not always going to be this way. It may feel like it. It may feel like um, this is going to be your life for the rest of your life, and you'll never overcome it, and you're ashamed and you're embarrassed, and you're not alone. Aléshah just gave a perfect example through her life that she went through the same exact thing. So thank you
Yeah.
for.
Of course. And it's become something that, because I've overcome it, and God just worked through me, so like it's not even something that like I feel ashamed about talking about anymore. And like when you brought up shame, I think that's so important, because I've been doing a lot of research in addition to a redemption train, some other roles that I'm preparing for that deal a lot with trauma and grief.
Mhm.
And just seeing how like when someone feels shame about one thing that may or may not have been their fault, it just kind of like creeps into every part of their life. And so to people who are feeling that like guilty or shame, whether it's something you did in the past or something you're currently doing, like I just really want to encourage you, like Miss Ernestine said, like you're not alone, and everybody's struggling with something. I know everybody says like nobody's perfect, but I feel like it wasn't until the beginning of this year that I realized that like people actually go through things, and I'm not the only one that like makes mistakes or struggles. So like yeah, you're not alone, and you're so loved, and there's so much just like grace for you, and you can just daily choose peace, choose to love yourself, choose to receive the love that is here for you, because like you weren't put on this earth for no reason, and everything you struggle with is it has to pay you back one day. So what you struggle with, like your story, you're gonna help somebody else,
Yeah.
or it's all for a purpose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I never would have thought that the things that I went through would be helping other people. Like when I was going through it as a teenager, and that didn't even cross my mind. No one ever even told me that. I didn't know why I was experiencing the stuff that I was experiencing.
Mhm.
But to be able to share what I've gone through, and to see people's life transformed by it through saving myself and me, and now redemption train, is like, it was worth it. People ask, well, do you wish you could undo things from the past? No. If it
Right.
means that that person over there has decided not to commit suicide because of what I went through and I shared it with them, I would not change a thing. I would.
Right.
Yeah. So, what would be your advice to someone who's nervous about pursuing their dreams? Because let me tell you something, you are a force to be reckoned with. So, tell me, what would you tell someone who's nervous about? And I hope my daughter's watching, but go ahead.
Say something really deep and encouraging. You're gonna die one day.
Okay.
I've heard that from Joel Osteen, and it has been in my head like every day. But it's like seriously, like you have a time, you have a set time, and during that time, it doesn't matter what people think of you, because at the end of the day, like like at the end of your life, like you're gonna be partying in heaven, and like all those people who doubted you like won't matter. So it's like just every day, just like choose to put like your dreams first. Choose to just go for it. And
Yeah.
easier said than done, but it's also like fear is such a huge thing. And I would notice this when I was younger. I would always ask adults and different people, well, specifically adults, like, what's your biggest dream? And I would constantly see that they weren't doing anything to like take steps towards those dreams. And so it confused me as a kid. Um, but it's just this fear thing, this fear of failure, this fear of the unknown, even a fear of success that people
Hmm.
have. So it's like I've gotten to a point where I just like I always say like I'm scared all the time, but I'm fearless because I never let fear keep me from doing things.
Yeah.
Um so I just say like make your plan, but take the first step. Just start with like the most smallest baby thing. Like take the first step, try it. If people laugh at you, they laugh. And if they don't, they don't. If you don't get any likes, like that's fine. Or if you get a bunch of likes, that's great. Just really do it for yourself. Take one step, take another, and then take another. And the next thing you know, you're going to be like too deep to quit. So
Right.
really like just go for it. And like you don't have to not have a fear response. Like I heard a mental health coach, he said tell anxiety like, hey, get on my back, let's go. Like you can embrace all of your imperfections or things and just like go for it. Start where you are with what you have. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Something you just said that stood out to me was about the likes. Because I know a lot of people, especially with this social media driven world that we live in now, they're nervous about posting certain things and they're constantly going back to see how many likes they have. And I found myself because when I was doing ministry before, social media wasn't as big as it is now. So I didn't really like, I wasn't really using social media like that. I would post every now and again, but not as much as I do now. And so when I first started, when I relaunched everything, I think in March, I was going back and checking it first. And then God convicted me and was like, remember why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Number one, you just said do it for you, right? And then number two, I'm also doing it for others. And so it's not about how many likes I have, it's about how many lives are transformed. So if only one person
Mm-hmm.
watches my video and their life is transformed, then it was a success.
Right.
It doesn't matter if there's 100,000 views or one view. That one view that saves somebody's life is all that matters to me. And once I change my perspective, like the freedom I feel in that and the drive I have now of remembering why I'm doing this just gives me life. I just love it. I love it.
That's so good.
So what are some of your future goals and dreams? Because we know you're a filmmaker and you're an actress, a professional actress, excuse me. So what are some of your future goals and dreams?
I have a lot. My ultimate goal, when what I'm doing in college, I'm getting a degree in digital marketing and advertising because I want to own a production company. I want to create my own films that inspire people to be and love their authentic selves and that are going to be like fantastical. I love writing. I'm working on scripts right now. I love writing and history, and I just really love telling stories about people who defy the odds. And it's just I could talk about it all day. I'm such a film nerd. But right now with acting, I'm waiting on a few things, but and I'm also pitching myself for roles. But I will just speak into existence. I'm going to book we're speaking into existence here. Gonna book like a fantasy feature film for a major network, and there's there's a few other projects. I don't know if I can like talk about it, but that I'm pitching myself for, and yeah, we're just waiting to see what happens. And I'm really excited, and I have a really good team around me of people who are helping me and who I couldn't be doing this without. So it's all really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to the future.
I'm excited for you too, and we'll definitely be praying with you. When I say we, I mean my family. You know, you've met my husband and all that, so we'll definitely be praying for you concerning that. I mean, I see all of it coming to pass for sure because you are absolutely phenomenal. And whenever you said fantasy, like my heart just leapt for joy. I love fantasy. That is one of my future dreams. Now, remember, I said being a filmmaker was not my dream. Like that wasn't something I always wanted to do.
Mhm.
However, now that we're on the subject and now that we're doing it, I'm like, I have this big dream to do a big fantasy film, which means a
That's
big
amazing.
budget. Huh?
I said, oh, sorry. I said that'd be amazing.
Yes, I love it. Like when I'm watching fantasy type movies, I'm like, just the creativity of it all is what gets me. You know, I'm just like, oh, I just love it. So that's my dream, which is going to be a big budget, and I believe it's going to happen. As a matter of fact, people are going to be coming to me asking me to do it. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm excited about the future as well. So, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I just really want to encourage anyone who's watching this, like,
Mhm.
just really go for it. I mean, I feel like we had a really good conversation. I'm just really excited to see just how people take what we said and just like make it their own and soar. Like, don't be afraid to shine your light. Like, you know, a lamp wasn't meant to be put under a desk. Like, just shine. Don't be afraid to shine. You never know how like your light is going to help someone else activate theirs. So
Girl, ooh, say that again, girl.
you never know how your light is going to help someone activate theirs.
I just okay. I love it. I love it.
Oh, actually, back to the future goals and dreams thing. This is something I want to say specifically.
Mhm.
The book, and this is on my Instagram if you want to check it out. There's a book getting turned into a TV show called Legendborn. Okay, it's really good, and I have pitched myself to play Brie Matthews. So that's something in the TV series. That's something that I'm a specific thing that I'm currently putting myself out for. So yeah.
I love it, and I feel like that's just the beginning of some of the great things that it'll be next. It'll be something else even bigger and even bigger, even bigger, and I like see it all coming. So I'm excited.
Aw,
I'm excited.
thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Well, Aléshah, thank you so much for joining me for today's Health Talks, and thank you for being such an important part of my dream. Seeing you
Oh,
play Ashley, a character that I created in 2014, seeing you bring her to life, like the moment they said action and you started, it just blew my mind. I was just like, is this happening? You know? So thank you. You are living proof that dreams do come true when you believe in yourself. So again, I appreciate your willingness to be a part of such an important project. Not just important to me, but to girls and women across the world. Aléshah, people are going to know your name. Not just because of your involvement in Redemption Train, not just because of how of an amazing actress you are, but because of you, because of your voice, the things that you have to say and the impact that you are going to have on this world. So thank you.
thank you. You made me cry. I'm such a sentimental person. Oh god.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I love to hear it.
Yeah, but I mean it. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Alrighty, everyone. So thank you for joining me for today's Health Talks. As you know, Health Talks is every fourth Saturday at 6 p.m. So December's coming up, right? And guess when the fourth Saturday is? Christmas Eve. So I really went back and forth like, okay, should I change the date? Should I change the date? But for the sake of consistency, I'm going to have the video premiere on Christmas Eve at 6 p.m. And if you're with family and friends that evening, no worries. You can check it out later. So the video will be there. The link for you to register for the next Health Talks is in the chat and in the description. Remember, if you register, you'll be put into the drawing twice, but only if you attend and email me and let me know that you attended. So the next Health Talks will be with the other lead actress for Redemption Train, which is Jada Cherie. We're going to be talking about overcoming trauma and pursuing your dreams, because we all know that trauma can stop you from pursuing your dreams, or we allow trauma to stop us from pursuing our dreams. But we are going to get back in that driver's seat, and we're going to stop trauma, and we're going to chase after our dreams, okay? Also, I want to let you guys know that the weekly videos that I normally post on Saturdays, they are postponed into the beginning of 2023. And that will give me time to focus on the re-release of Saving My Soul for Me, and also on the fundraising process for Redemption Train. So again, those weekly videos are postponed until 2023, but the Health Talks video will still be every fourth Saturday. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified whenever I do start uploading new videos again, okay? And I did not forget about the drawing today. Make sure that if you want to be put in that drawing, you have until 7:30 p.m. today, November 26th, to sign up for that drawing. Let me show you again, just because I want to show you the options for the drawing. The first is an autographed copy of the re-released, let me say it again, re-released copy of Saving My Soul for Me, or to receive a Girls Who Conquer shirt. The available sizes are small, medium, and large. But again, you have to make sure you email me today by 7:30. My email address is in the chat. That's ernestinehopkins@gmail.com. Send me your name and your mailing address and what prize you would like and the size of the shirt if you are choosing that prize. And 2 people will be randomly selected. So today's Health Talks with Aléshah will live on the Ernestine Hopkins YouTube channel. So make sure you share today's video with your friends and family. Trust me, somebody needs to hear what we talked about today. Even if you think the person has it all together and, oh, they don't need this, we all need to be encouraged. We all need to be reminded from time to time. So make sure that you share this dynamic conversation with someone, all right? So I just want to leave you with a quick word of encouragement before we part ways. For those of you who watched today and you know there's something you've been sitting on, you know there's something that you've always wanted to do, but you've been afraid to step out of your comfort zone and do it, I want to tell you that today is a great day for everything to change for you. Step out and do it. Whatever it is for you, whatever it is for you, do it. Don't allow fear to stop you. If you are afraid, do it afraid. There will never be the perfect time to start. There will never be an absolute perfect, setup where you just, oh, everything is so perfect, just the way I saw it. It'll never be that way. So don't use wanting things to be perfect as an excuse to not get started. And for those of you who feel regretful because you started in the past, but then you stopped for whatever reason, it's never too late to try again. It may not look like your original vision that you had before, and that's okay. I don't look like my original vision. None of us look like we originally did, right? Same thing with your dreams and your goals. So go after them. I believe in you. It's time for you to believe. You can do this. You got this. And as I always say, you can and you will.
Thank you for watching Health Talks with Ernestine, a discussion on believing in yourself and pursuing your dreams. If you haven't already, make sure you like and share this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit that bell so you'll be notified when new videos are posted.